Good morning. See, how do I look this morning? Something wrong with that camera. I know I look better. Okay, well, we're going to do a couple things, kind of latest updates, new news, stuff hot off the presses, new and recent research. So one of the things that we were just talking about, I'm going to like to do a video based on your question. Okay? And so I'm going to restate what you said, and you correct me if I'm misstating it. I apologize if I misstate it. Your son had surgery, and when he eats too much, it's discomfort. And if I heard you right, you said as long as the discomfort stays, the surgery will be successful. Is that fair? In other words, what we need to treat obesity is pain, a negative reinforcement. If someone were to follow you around with an electric cattle prod, and every time you ate a cookie, zap you, then you would eat fewer cookies. At least I would. And so the idea of some theories of the treatment of obesity is you need that negative reinforcement to block excess eating. And it goes along with the theory. What is the theory of why people are heavy? What have you heard?
That they eat too much.
Right. And have you heard this? Obesity is simple. Have you heard this one? Obesity is simple. It's calories in and calories out. It's just simple. And the solution for obesity, also simple. Eat less, exercise more. Now, a corollary of that is if it's so simple, if that's all there is to it, if eat less, exercise more is all there is to it, then that means something else. If you fail to eat less and exercise more, if you fail to eat less and exercise more, you're bad. You're dumb. You're weak. Mama didn't like you best. You eat for comfort. There's something psychiatric, psychological, or intellectually wrong with you. Because obesity is so simple. It's calories in and calories out. And therefore, if you don't follow this simple advice, there's something, you're bad. Have you heard that?
Yes.
You're a bad son. He's a weak son. You're dumb. Mama didn't love you enough when you were growing up. She didn't care for you. She gave you too many peanut butter sandwiches. Have you heard all these things? We would like to throw those out because they don't work. They don't work very well. I mean, you think they don't add up. They don't help. They don't use anything. Instead of that theory of obesity, that it's calories in, calories out, I'd like to think for a second. I'd like you to think with me for a second about something totally different. I'd like you to think with me about your breathing. Okay? And I have decided, and maybe you agree with me, you're breathing too darn much. You're just one of those over-breathers. You lack willpower, you lack intelligence, you lack good character, and you're just breathing too much. So I want you to use your brain, your willpower, your intelligence, and I want you to kind of just cut down on that breathing. You're just breathing a little too much. So go ahead right now. Everybody hold your breath. And you get back to me when you have to breathe again. Raise your hand when you have to breathe again. Okay. Hold your breath. Hold your breath. Hold your breath. Huh? Well, why? Why can't you hold your breath? Why can't you hold your breath? Because based inside of you, below the powerful brain that God gave us, is a primitive system that controls our breathing. And you could say all day long, breathe less. It could be in our best interest to breathe less. It could be in our best interest to breathe more. I don't know. But we got no chance of adjusting that for more than a couple of minutes because at the brainstem level, primitive parts of the brain control your breathing. Okay? Imagine that you had the same system controlling your eating. Okay? Now, have your mama tell you to eat less. Read a motivational book and says eat less. Go to the gym and have your trainer tell you to eat less. Okay? Convert every one of those. Have your mother, have the trainer, have the motivational book. Instead of saying eat less, say breathe less. Sounds silly now. Sounds ridiculous. It's impossible. It's goofy to even say that. Okay? We have found the hormones. I better turn mine on. Everybody heads up. Usually I tell everybody to turn it off and then I forget. And then they go,
Charge $5 if it goes off?
Yeah, that's right. We'll go around. Yeah. That's actually how we make our money here. So, what does this mean? It means that obesity is not calories in, calories out. We have inside of us a system of hormones that control how much we eat. One of the hormones is one that makes us hungry. We have found a hormone, a string of amino acids like insulin, that makes us hungry. And if I inject it into you now, you're hungry. And if I measure it in your bloodstream and you don't have it, you're not hungry. So I can tell you, you could read a book, Mama could yell at you and say, don't eat. But if you have that hormone in you, you're not going anywhere. It's like Mama telling you don't breathe. It's just not going to happen. It doesn't help. It doesn't do anything. It doesn't fix anything. But the system inside of us is actually more complicated than that. Not only do we have an accelerator pedal on our car, but we have a brake as well. And we have found that inside of us, not only do we have this hunger hormone, the hunger hormone of ghrelin or ghrelin, but we also have a brake, an I'm satisfied hormone, satiety. I'm full, I'm done. Okay? That hormone tells us, even if you're hungry right now, if I inject that hormone, you say, oh, I'm done, I'm full. And those hormones control your eating much more than your intellect. And if those hormones are out of balance, you're probably going to be heavy, or you could be thin. And it's actually more complex than I've described it, but I want to emphasize back to your question. And I'm going to repeat it, and again, you correct me if I'm saying it wrong. As long as your son keeps that discomfort, maybe he'll be successful. We do not agree. Instead, as long as his ghrelin, his hunger is decreased, as long as his peptide YY, the brakes, go up, he will remain successful and thin. And we don't want him to have discomfort. He has some discomfort now because he's adjusting. Now, all of us can get discomfort if we were to eat an entire pizza right now. Fast. Maybe two. But some limit. So you are going to have the risk of discomfort after the new stomach, but discomfort is not the key to our success. There are other surgeries that just make discomfort. The LapBand, stomach stapling, and things like that, and they have high failure rates. Just treating obesity with discomfort has a high failure rate. In some studies from Europe, the LapBand, which is basically discomfort. Try and eat too much, you're sick. Right? LapBand, try and eat too much, I'm sick. Try and eat too much, I'm sick. Over 10 years, close to 100% of LapBand patients fail because discomfort in the end fails. Does that sound fair? Is that right? Sound good?